What a moment this is for Broc Feeney as he slides his way out of the last corner. It's all eyes forward for 2026.
Thanks to the
Broc
team for
Feeney's
the
on the
awesome
board.
stop.
Come with me now.
Was fast on Friday and he's superb on Sunday as Feeney is back in a big way in 2026.
Well, we've had a bit of a break since New Zealand, but this man has still just kept chugging along because he was in action over the weekend in a GT, and he's walking into our next round with the orange numbers on the side of his Ford Mustang. Please welcome back to the driver's seat, the one and only Broc Feeney. Broc, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me on once again.
Now, mate, I don't think in the history of motorsport, or any sport for that matter, have we seen so much attention given to someone for just growing a beard. So I want to get that question out of the way. Did that take you by surprise?
Yeah, yes and no. I suppose I didn't really think it was going to be a huge story, and then I saw articles coming out about that. I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. But yeah, I suppose I've always been clean cut. I look back at myself now and I say, geez, I look a bit different without a beard. So I don't know. I probably led a few people on and said it'd be gone by round one, but I just got used to it. So it's sticking around for now, that's for sure.
Oh, I can tell you, I'm sure that Will Brown was probably dodging every paper thinking, oh, God, I hope no one knows that I've shaved my head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. He's got the questions coming now.
But, mate, before we get going, congratulations on winning the Jason Richards Trophy at the doubleheader in New Zealand. And describe to us that chaos that was happening in that last race, because you had no comms on radio. We all were watching at home, seeing the mayhem that was going on in that last few laps. And you just had to do your best to just keep it clean and get to the end.
Yeah, it was such a weird race, and big part of it was because I didn't know what was actually going on, and you know I'd seen the points, but I couldn't remember sort of where I was at. I think me and Brody were pretty close, but once, even before Woody's engine went down, I'm like, geez, I wonder if I'm actually in contention here, because I was a fair few spots up the road. But then when I saw him parked on the side of the road, I thought, geez, I'm actually probably a decent shot here. And then Matt was winning. I just had no idea what was going on. So obviously on that restart, I had no idea what was at stake, but obviously a lot of events unfolded in those last few laps. And obviously it sort of led to me getting the trophy, but you know, we didn't win a race, but we had 3 podiums over the, 6 races or something like that. We weren't anything special, but to walk away with the JR Trophy is huge. I mean, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to a lot of the guys in our team. And, you know, just to keep, as you sort of said, chugging away at this point of the year, it's been nothing special, but we've been able to get some pretty cool trophies and back in the championship lead.
Absolutely. And it all started off with a bang too at SMP. That would have been good to sort of just get the shine off the new ball a bit when you head into a new season. But also, since it's been a fair while since we've actually been racing, because obviously the cars have to be freighted over from New Zealand via boat, would have been good to, you know, get back into a car last weekend at the Bend in the Speed Series, and you snagged a trophy with Brad, and you walked away with the series lead in the GT World Challenge. So it was a good weekend out in South Australia.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's just good to do more miles, and you know, I obviously have enjoyed the calendar going up to 14, but to be honest, it doesn't actually really change our lives, because you do a back-to-back weekends in New Zealand, and then the rest of the year feels very similar. So I think last year I ended up about 21 or 22 events for the year. That's sort of my target again this year. So I'll do the 5 or 6 rounds with Brad, the 500 clashes at the end of the year. So I won't be able to do that one, but it's good to do more miles. This is the perfect part of the season to be doing those races. And obviously there's a couple of weekends where it's back-to-back with supercars and all that. But when you got a 5-week break and you sit around, you do notice it. You go out and practice one and everything's happening a little bit faster. So obviously we won that championship last year. I was probably a little on the fence if I was going to go again, but want to try and back our title up. And it's cool leading both championships at the moment, which is obviously pretty exciting. And hopefully we can try to do the double this year.
Absolutely. And we've got Tassie coming up. It's been a pretty happy hunting ground for you, and especially in the Gen 3 era. 3 wins, 6 podiums, couple of poles as well. Some new ground this year, though, with the Mustang. Clearly, as we said, SMP, the move to Ford has treated you pretty well, but how much have you had to adjust? Because you've got all these years of, you know, the old car in the back of your head, and you're comfortable with it. And then I know a lot of it's the same, but at the same time, it's also pretty different too, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is different. I mean, it was probably a little bit hard because we came out and put on a bit of a clinic at Sydney, really. You know what I mean? Like, especially on Sunday's race with the cool suit and everything going on. Before that, I think last safety car, we'd sort of put 8 to 10 seconds on the field. So we felt pretty confident after that, and we had a pretty quick reality check come Grand Prix, and we still snagged a win there and got a pole position. But we're just missing that little edge of speed at the moment, and that's what I think's cool, that we are leading the championship. We certainly haven't been the fastest car. I mean, I don't know if anyone would really say we've been the fastest car across the first 4 rounds, but to be leading the championship, had a DNF in there, had a bit of things go our way. So has everyone, but I think it's a great position for us. But we need to find more speed, and there's no doubt about that. We've had a fair bit of change here at Triple Eight. Obviously, a few guys moving around. We got a third car. We've swapped to Mustangs. Obviously, we're still trying to understand that. So I'd like to think with this 5-week break, we've had a good chance to, I wouldn't say have a reset, but really knuckle down after New Zealand and figure out what we need to sort of nut through and what are the highest priorities to work on. So I'd like to hope, Tassie, we can, I'd say, have a little bit of a turnaround in pace and get back to our winning ways. I mean, I love winning overall events and winning the JR Trophy, but I don't really like coming second or third in races. So I want to get back to winning some more races.
And that's the thing too, because ever since you walked in the door at Triple Eight, like Red Bull Ampol Racing has always been the benchmark team. It's been like that for years and years and years. But this year, as you sort of said, it's been a bit difficult. And I reckon it's probably not because you guys have dropped off, but everyone else is sort of like the pack's risen. You see what Brody Kostecki and DJR. I mean, you guys have been trading the orange numbers a fair bit this season. We also see the Groves just lift to the next level, and that gap in competitiveness just seems to be getting smaller and smaller. And when you do say qualify, P2 and P3, and you're not on the front row, it makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. We say it every year, and we'll say it for the next, I don't know, however long Supercars runs for, that it just gets more competitive every year. And I think we're telling the truth when we're saying that. I mean, the cars are as close as they've ever been. You go back 10 years ago, there was a lot of differences and so forth between the cars. Everyone's got the same equipment, and everyone's, we got a lot of new owners in the field that are, putting some good investment into the teams, and the teams are rising. I think everyone's rising. You got new, fresh drivers coming in. You're certainly seeing the young side of the sport now, but I think Supercars as a whole is taking huge leaps forward, and it gets recognized all around the world. I mean, you see Max Verstappen talking about it. Whenever I race overseas, everyone's talking about how cool Supercars is. So it's no surprise, but the field is super tight. I mean, and we're going to see that in Tassie. Tassie's going to be, we're going to be talking tenths of seconds between first and 20th. So it's exciting. It's a great time. As you said, we probably haven't been the benchmark team this year, but I got no doubt that we'll be able to get back to that. That just shows how competitive this championship is, and you can't be complacent. And, for the other teams, no one's dominated all year. Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of guys that have been up the front, and you'd certainly say Brody's probably been the most consistent and won the most races, but everyone still has their ups and downs, and we're hoping to turn that around next week.
Exactly. And even on the other side of the fence, like we're saying, there are some times where, guys like Matt Stone Racing and Team 18, they're really sort of stepping up to the plate. And in a different era, if you put those same times back then, it's literally milliseconds that separate all you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And, that's what we sort of keep going on about, how good this series really is. And talk about door-to-door racing, everyone sort of gives it a little bit of criticism here and there, but there's a lot of other races that we watch that aren't too exciting around the world. I race GT on the weekend, and I love racing GT, but, for an hour, we pretty much made no overtakes. And it's, obviously the consequence of aero wash and a big fast-flowing track. But, Brad, my teammate, had about 8 tenths to a second a lap and couldn't make a pass on someone. So, I'm obviously loving Supercars. It's such a good series, and I think everyone inside of it sees that. And we're just excited to be in a position where we need to keep improving. I mean, how good is it where you got so many guys that are contending for race wins, and we'll be contending for a championship at the back end of the year. So we're all excited here. We're all working our backsides off, and as I said, our focus is on ourselves. We're not worried about the ups and downs or the good runs of some other teams. We know what we can do better, and we know there's quite a lot of things that we can, and that will show in the results.
Absolutely. And you talk about some of the change that you've had at Red Bull Ampol Racing. Got a brand new co-driver for the Enduros this year, Nick Percat,
Yeah.
taking over from Jamie Whincup for the Bend and Bathurst. Now, I know that you guys have gelled pretty well, and but when did you actually find out that J-Dub would be stepping back from co-drive duties? Because I reckon it'd be like if I had, say, if I had like a Tuesday night basketball team and that happened to be playing with Michael Jordan, and MJ says, "Hey, you know what? Next year I'm probably going to sit down." You'd be a bit like, "Hang on, wait, what? Don't do that."
Yeah, yeah. We found out properly about the week after or just after Bathurst, but I sort of had an inkling beforehand. It had sort of come up just before Bathurst, a couple of weeks before Bathurst, and he was probably a little on the fence, and we just wanted to get through Bathurst. We said, "Hey, you're our guy. Like, let's get through." And after that, he made the decision by himself to step back, and I'm sure that's the way he wanted to end on his own terms. It's a shame. I obviously didn't know at Bathurst that it was going to be his last one with me, and I'm obviously gutted that we couldn't win together. But at the same time, I'm obviously really excited for Nick to come aboard. I mean, when I look at the field, I got no doubt I got the best guy in my corner, and me and Nick had got along really good actually over the last few years. It was certainly handy once I did know he was signed at the back end of last year. We were in a lot of communications over the final series, and he was sort of helping out where he could. But for me, yeah, I'm excited to work with him. He lives on the Gold Coast. He's very local to me. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. Obviously, it's a couple of months away, but it's coming around so quick. So he's working really hard in the background. I mean, no one sees it. Me and him are very similar. We don't like showing too much of what we're doing, but there's a lot of work going on in the background. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting to work together a little bit more.
Thing with Nick Percat too, like he's one of those guys that's actually proven. I mean, it doesn't matter what team he's been at, MSR, BJR, LDM, like he's won. He's HRT, like he knows how to win. He knows how to gel in an environment, and it's a really exciting time. And when I saw that they did the pairing, I was absolutely stoked to see like, oh, well, finally Nick's getting a chance to show what he can do. And obviously, it's a great rear gunner for you come the Enduros.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to keep looking at who's the next guy that are coming out, and Nick can win races. I mean, he battled me for a couple of wins last year. Yeah. He beat me a couple of times the year before. So I'm always been well aware of how good Nick is. And to be honest, I'm just excited to bring him into this environment. Obviously, I can't speak highly enough of everyone here at Triple Eight and the environment that it brings. And yeah, I'm just excited to have Nick on board. The small part that we have done at the racetrack this year has been really cool working with him. And I suppose with Jamie, it was still like I was coming into his seat. He was still nearly a little bit of the leader, and that where I'm probably bringing Nick in a little bit under my wing into the team this year. So it is going to be a little bit different for me, but I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we've spent a fair bit of time together on the Gold Coast, which has been really good. And yeah, Enduros can't come soon enough. It's going to be a great time of the year as always.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But look, Broc, before I let you go, mate, Magic Round's coming up this weekend. How much footy are you going to try and cram in before you have to actually get back to work next weekend? And how do you reckon your Broncos are going to go against the Warriors?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I'm still going to go up. It's a lot of footy to watch in one day, so obviously probably a bit comfy from home, but I'll certainly be watching it. I've never been enjoying my footy as much as I am at the moment, which is great. So yeah, been lucky enough to spend a fair bit of time with the Bronx, and one of our owners, Earl Evans, is the sponsor of Manly. So we were going back and forth last week when they were versing each other, and he said, we're enemies for the next 2 hours. And unfortunately for me, he got the upper hand on us on the weekend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, it's at home. So I'll try and sneak up to a few games. I'll try to go watch the Bronx. But yeah, hopefully they can get back on the board. And unfortunately, it doesn't line up. They had a bye. They've got a bye next week. So we're trying to get him in and show them a little bit around about what we do, but yeah, we'll get to do that soon.
Well, fingers crossed, mate, that you at least to get some form of footy in here this weekend. And I don't mean to brag, but I go for the Cowboys, so I was pretty happy to see you guys get the wrong end of the stick on that one. But mate, Hey, thanks so much for joining us for Tassie. All the best down in the Apple Isle, mate. At least you won't have to worry about cool suit stuff in
Yeah,
Tassie. That's one thing.
exactly. I should be pretty cool as it is already.
But good luck, mate. And thanks for making a bit of time to chat with us. And all the best for the weekend.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.